Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast called Chatting in Cars. It's where I talk about random topics. Today's topic is very interesting. I've already given you the full warning for it. There is a disclaimer at the start of this podcast. Yes, my stuttering is already kicking in, my selective mutism. So you might have to smack me on the back of the head. It's Friday and I'm tired. There's a podcast disclaimer because I do talk about sensitive topics and I do switch topics up. I also swear considerably. I'm not going to stop doing that now. I'm really old and I enjoy it. The topic for today is guests. I've got my sister over at the moment. Yes, it's coming up to the holiday period where everybody's trying to have guests over. I just passed her actually. She's just leaving at the same time I am. Oh, crazy old dynamite. Everybody's got guests over and we're doing Christmassy stuff. Some of you, if you're in America, we're doing Thanksgiving stuff. I'm not because I live in Australia and we don't do that. We do Halloween though. That's pretty interesting. It's more like an excuse just to eat shit. Does anybody understand what it's about? I mean, you got the Mexicans doing their Day of the Dead stuff, which I did this year because I wanted to have a look at what kinds of things they were into and stuff. I'm interested in that kind of stuff as well because I'm a divinist, I like all kinds of belief systems. So I have a look at all different elements and different parts are interesting enough. So some bits get incorporated into my belief system, some don't. But no, it's coming up to Christmas, so my sister's decided to come over from England and already the chaos has unfolded. She's fucking up my house. It's bugging the shit out of me. Because I got autism, right, yeah. I have routines. I like the routine. She's fucking up my routine. I mean, we were raised together and I didn't realize how much I was set in my ways until we moved out and went our separate ways, sort of thing. And this is one of the reasons I can't, go back and live with my parents because they'll fuck up my routines. But, the first thing she does as soon as she walks in is her suitcase explodes all over my house. I'm like, okay. All right. And I'm not anally clean that way, I'm not sitting there going, everything needs to be picked up, now, but, I am kind of about the discipline of keeping shit tidy. I like my routines. I like to know where shit is. I like it in a place, right? I'm like the kind of person, like my dad tried to move my shoes while I was asleep on the couch one time and first of all, I growled at him, which is unusual and out of character because my dad and I haven't got that kind of relationship, but he partly shot himself, I think, because I'm just losing my shit because he moved my shoes. I was like, put him back. It's like, oh my God. It's like, yes. Well, I was half asleep at the time. But no, yeah, I like having my shit where it is, It's like you look after your kit looks after you, essentially, isn't it? I know it's an army term, but it's really productive and it works that well for me. You spend half the time looking for your shit. You're not going to be able to use it when you need it because you've wasted all your time, right? So the first thing she did is she opens the suitcase and this thing comes flying out and all the shit's all over my house. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to let that slip for now because I know you're not staying here the full 7 weeks. And then I bought some stuff for her because I know she's got like milk intolerance and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I'll get you some oat milk or whatever you weirdos drink. I'm sitting on powdered milk rations. I like that. I like that system. It's like it never goes off. It's always the same. It works for me. The consistency is good. Never have to buy milk. I always buy it in bulk as a powder. It works. But she's like, I need my oat milk. It has to be organic. I'm like, oh Christ. Okay, here's your fucking oat milk. I'm making coffees. It's like, I'm also gluten intolerant, so I don't need that. I don't eat bread. I'm sitting there going, dude, I would be grateful to get bread every day. I only have bread rations on like a Saturday because otherwise I would eat the whole fucking loaf in one sitting. It would not be a problem for me. It's like gluten intolerant or not, I get addicted to that shit. Because there's a thing called like mono eating or something like that where you fixate on one food and you'll only eat that food for like months at a time and then suddenly you'll switch up and you'll go hyper focused on a different food. Like I've done that so many times. I did it with fake Cocoa Pops, I did it with pizza, I did it with noodles, I did it with you just go through these phases where for like months you'll be eating nothing but that because that's what you like. and that's part of your now routine because it's stable, and then you go off it and you try some other foods. But you know, it's good to vary it up. I try to vary it up. I'm not that hyper fixated, but I do like my rhythm, which is why I found like meal prep so easy. People are like, are you sick of eating the same shit every day? It's like, nope. I like it. Like gym rats getting pissed off because they have to eat like chicken and rice and broccoli every fucking meal or something like that, and they're like, I hate this shit. I'm like, no, I like it. I'm into it. It's good. I like the consistency, and if it's making, you know, me a bit leaner or it's making muscle growth a bit easier, then bonus. My shit's mainly stemming from my autism. It's like I'm a gym rat's dream. Even for lifestyle choices, like I have to have routine, I have to have rhythm. Everything has to be in a particular place. That's my mild OCD. It's mild, apparently. I'm sitting there looking at the way I treat the gym. I'm going, are you sure this is mild? My psych's like, it's fine, it's fine. It's apparently OCD is a comorbidity of autism. I'm going, fuck off. It's like, I just thought it was because of PTS. It's like, no, the PTS is also there. It's like, oh. Okay, yeah, your parents are assholes, but on top of that, you're already autistic. Like, oh, okay, all right. It's not doing me any harm, though. No, it's actually working in your favor. It's like, oh, all right. That's weird. Except for like the near enough, you know, fist fights you get into because someone hasn't wiped down the equipment or something. They haven't re-racked their weights properly in the correct order. And I do get anal about that, I do. It's not just for displays for function. Re-rack your shit properly. It's annoying me. Oh, dude, no, I'm having trouble like hiding my my pissed offedness as well these days. I'm turning into a Karen. It's horrible. Because I stopped, like before I stopped showing this shit because I was, you know, you try to conceal your stimming. Because you're like, I don't want to embarrass me, mainly, or anyone I'm with. I do tend to embarrass people I'm with because I just do shit I don't realize I'm doing it. I'll echolalia or something, copying people, and oh fuck me, and then you say shit out loud and you're like, why did I say that shit out loud? And you know it's just embarrassed someone or it's just pissed someone off, or you're like, I shouldn't have said that out loud. And these are weird thoughts as well. These aren't just regular thoughts. You're like, oh fuck me, I've done it again. People looking at you like you're crazy. It's like, I just had to say it out loud because I needed to know what it sounded like coming from my head. Not just in my head, you know? So I'm having trouble curbing that at the moment. You can tell when I'm tired because I start saying shit out loud. And I know I shouldn't, because afterwards you get this weird look from people, they avoid you at the gym. And it's like, oh shit, that probably wasn't right. Especially when they fucked up the spacing on a treadmill. The other day, I was on the treadmills. There's 5 treadmills, right? There is a set format for that. I know there is. You fill up from the sides and whoever's left over as a third person goes in the middle, right? That's a rule. I'm sure that's a rule. I'm so sure that's a rule. But some guy had done the second one in. He was sitting there. There was a guy on the end and then there was one other guy who was on the other end, second one in. And it pissed me off so much. So I'm like, where do I sit now? Because I don't know where I'm supposed to position myself because you've thrown the rhythm off, you fucker. So I'm like really close to this guy on the end, who thankfully was this tiny little guy, wasn't very threatening. I'm going, I hate being here and you're in my bubble, but you know, I need the treadmill. And I'm glaring at this other guy on my right going, you asshole. You threw the rhythm off. Oh my God, maybe I'm just too much of a Karen these days, I don't know. But he fucked up the rhythm, man. Yeah. Some of you in the crowd are sitting there going, yeah, I know what she means. Fuck the dick. Anyone who's been to a gym and knows the gym etiquette, I'm pretty sure it's to do with that. It's not just my mild OCD. I'm an asshole. I don't care. There are rules. There are rules. Follow the rules. The rules stop people's feelings getting hurt. This is why we follow the rules. But by people breaking the rules, now people's feelings are getting hurt. It's what the fuck? Bugs the shit out of me. Anyway. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. But yeah, so my sister's suitcase exploded. And I know she's pretty good with it. She's like, because she knows what I'm like. I'm not completely anal. I'm sitting there going, I'll let that slip. But she's like, oh, sorry, dude, I've got to sort my suitcase out. She's like pulling dresses out and shit like that, and presents and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. And she's pretty good. She's pretty tidy normally. My dad is disgusting. he lives like a little filth monster. He's unclean. That's probably part contributing to why I need things particularly a certain way. Because, you know, my mom gave me so much shit growing up because he was unclean. Unclean, like, hygiene-wise. So all us kids are, like, super hygienic. Especially my brother. He's pretty clean. For a guy, he's very clean. I'm going, what the fuck, dude? It's like, okay. I expect men to smell of sweat and shit like that because, you know, I was married to a Navy guy and I used to live with Navy guys. And they smell because they go training, they work, guys smell. They just do. They smell more than women. Or they should because they got that testosterone shit, right? If you smell a woman that smells that foul, it's like, fuck me, what is wrong with you? There's usually something going on there. But I'm used to guys smelling, not to the extent my dad did. He was fucking disgusting. Smoker and everything. It's just, ugh, rank. But, you know, she's pretty good. She cleans up after herself. And in her house, when she's in London, she shares with this other woman, so she's the cleaner. I gave her my bed because I'm like, I get up at 5 just because I like getting up early. I just cannot sleep in. So I'm like, you have my bed because I'm up at 5 and I'm doing my businesses before I go to work. And then I'm going to do my businesses after I get back from work. And then I'll go eat something and then go to the gym probably. That's my rhythm. I like routine. It's structured. It goes somewhere. It does something. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'll sleep on the couch. It's okay. I'm going. Now, my ex-boyfriend used to sleep on the couch as a tantrum. He used to, I'm sleeping on the couch. And all it does is just get in the way. And it bugs the shit out of me. So I'm sitting there trying to battle this shit experience I used to have with my ex. And I know she's being polite because she's like, no, I want you to have a comfortable bed. That's what I'm assuming. She hasn't told me, but she's like, I want you to have a comfortable bed to sleep in, knowing that you work and you have to go to work the next day. And I was like, seriously, dude, this is not about comfort. I can sleep damn near anywhere. Except the floor, it seems. Last time I slept on the floor, it fucked up my hips. I don't mind sleeping in a single bed in the front room. But it's that formality. She's trying to be considerate. But really it's getting in the way. It's forced formality. It's like, it's nice, but it's not helpful. So just sleep in the double bed or the queen bed or whatever. But yeah, so this morning she's like, I'll get up with you. Hell yeah. And I'm like, I got up at 5. It's now 5:30. It's like, why aren't you awake? I'm sitting there coming out. It's like, do you want a coffee? She's like, yeah. So she's not a morning person. I'm like, you crazy dude. Why did you say this? Why didn't you just sleep in the double? So it's these little quirks you got to get used to when your guests come over. And I'm pretty sure my sister is like the polar opposite of me. She's my little sister. So she's sort of had her way the whole time growing up. Because my parents have got through all the other 3 kids, right? And so they come to my little sister and it's like, well, we fucked up with the other ones. Let's try and make it easy for this one. So she's like constantly having a credit card paid off and shit like that. Meanwhile, we're like, I need money. It's like, you guys are older, you know better. There's only 2 years between us. What the fuck? But no, she's good. She's good. She's bratty. She's an extrovert. She's the one that used to talk for me because I'd sit in the background with my selective mutism and just whisper shit in her ear to get stuff done. If I wanted something, I'd just like lean in. Just like, can you do this for me? Yeah, right. Suck it. So we get along that way. But she's pretty good. She's not a bad guest. I think living with my ex-boyfriend was a worse guess. Sorry, some guy just doesn't know how to fucking marriage. You ever get that to where the intersections where they gun it through and then like bottle it halfway up your car? You're like, oh, I was gonna. Well, do it, then move. Well, now you're non-committal, fuck. Merge points in Australia. They don't know what they're doing. It's so much easier in England. They just go 1 for 1. It's a zip. It's a zip. It's what it should be. See, this is my autism kicking in. So why aren't you doing the right thing? Why are you fucking this up? Or it could be my going standards. I gotta get this right. Yeah, but they're dumbasses. Anyway. Oh, hello. BP Point Security. My nemesis. Person who gunned after me yesterday. Sorry. Traffic enemies. I'm making it. You ever see like those repetitive cars? Like, you know these people travel the same route, but they're assholes on the route. So you're like, right, it's Thursday. It's on. We're doing this. Coming after you, little fucker. He's being quite He's using your manners today. He's not tailgating and stuff. I'm gonna let it go. Anyway, so having guests over. So she's already, I don't know, I'm bitching the whole time. It seems like bitching, but I'm happy that she's here because I haven't seen her in something like 4 or 5 years. 2018, when was that? 4 years. So I'm happy she's here. It just highlights the quirks that both of us have that would mean that we could never live together. You know, it's not like The Odd Couple where they just make it work. It's like, no, genuinely, I need you out of my space at some point. I have to get back into my routine because it's frazzling my brain that you'd have no discipline. She comes home with like all these 4 different types of olives and you know, like weird shit. It's like, why do you need this shit in the fridge? None of it is functional. None of it. Why do we need 4 types of fucking olives? I don't even eat olives. So I just thought you might want to try them. Well, actually, no. Because, ew. I hate olives. You never knew. You've known me for 36 years. Why don't you know me? Oh my God, the quirks. But she doesn't celebrate Christmas either. So when it comes to Christmas and stuff, while I'm sitting here celebrating on my own, which I don't mind. I'm a bit of a Sigma female. Yeah, I like being on my own. I like doing my own thing. I've got so many things I like doing on my own that it's now, I have to weigh up whether I like hanging out with people now. It's like, why would I want to do that when I can just watch Netflix and eat snacks and sleep? Don't you want someone to do that with? Well, maybe. Are they going to be nice or are they going to be assholes? That's basically a debate everyone has, I think. Some people need to go out and be social. I don't. I like hermit mode. I like it so much. Because you can be like scantily clad and eating snacks and be gross and nobody says shit and you don't have to please anyone. It's great. But yeah, so she's all like, let's go out for dinner. Let's go. Oh, she's invited me out to dinner already. She signed me up for something and I'm like, I don't want to do that. She signed me up for something. Because she used to be my mouthpiece growing up. Essentially, if I wanted something, I would go through her because she's got a big mouth and she knows what she's doing. She would speak for me. If I wanted something, as I said, I'd whisper in her and she'd get it, organized because she's good like that. But now I'm older, I've got more confidence. I don't have the self-esteem issues. I don't have the lack of social stuff. So these days I have to start really saying no because she'll sign me up to shit. It's like, do you want to go out with my friends on the week? We're going out for dinner. It's like, where is it? Cottesloe. It's like, I don't want to go. First of all, I don't know your people. I'm not really. And that's first of all, very formal scenario, a restaurant, which I'm not really comfortable with anyway. And thirdly, you sign me up without my consent. So it's like, it's a trifactor of not fucking happening. Don't sign me up for shit I don't want to do. I hate that. But she's having a blast. She's trying to get me out of my shell, what is perceived to be a shell, but really is a cocoon of niceness because I have snacks and nakedness and it's great. Why don't you get out the house? I like my house. There's no people there. People are dicks. Come out and hang out with my friends. I don't want to hang out with your friends. Because there's that forced formality and I'm already stressed at work while I'm, masking. I'm cutting back and hiding all my stimming. All of it, and I have to put on this professional uniform where I have to, lead kids through this war zone of education, and I have to, put on a face and a mask. And I when I get home, I can finally let go. That's what it is, and it's such an effort, particularly towards the end of the term when I'm fucking knackered, to put on this uniform and get going with it. And then she's like, on my day off. I mean, she's been kind enough that she said, we'll do it on your cheat day. I'm like, thank you. But at the same time, no. Fuck off. I get 1 day a week to be me. And before I'm heading back into the war zone, you can just leave me alone, dude. I'm going to sit, I'm going to be fat and gross. What's the best meme I've ever seen was this lady who's getting interviewed for it's either Thanksgiving or Christmas. They say, what you going to do all Christmas? And we're going to get fat and sassy. And I'm going, I love it. It's very relational. Yeah? I can relate to that so well. But, it's great. She's trying, and bless her, she's trying. I understand as kids, I needed her, but I don't need her that way now. I just want to enjoy her company. But she's signing me up to shit. And it's not happening, because now I'm saying no. I've got my own plans. Aren't you going to be lonely at Christmas? Fuck no. I mean, I'd enjoy the idea of one other person, Like, I wouldn't mind having a boyfriend, because last Christmas, was the last Christmas or Christmas before, I had a boyfriend. And we just did essentially what I wanted to do anyway. And it included sex. It's like, yes, this is ideal. We're going to eat, we're going to sleep, Netflix, chill, and have sex a lot. It was great. Don't you want presents and shit? No, I want food and sleep and sex, and that's it. I don't want noise. I don't want having forced interactions with people. I'm enjoying this, you know, the quietness, man. If my people had stayed in the country they came from, this icy, you know, Nordic fucking UK icy country kind of thing, we would be in midwinter and we would be doing these things anyway. You know, sans Netflix. But we'd find something to do and we'd definitely be fucking. You know, I don't want to do the forced interaction things. It bugs the shit out of me. Because it's all fake to me. It's a lot of people, like even when I had that social group, that was my ex-boyfriend's social group down the pub or local or whatever it was a lot of forced interactions. A lot of it was fake and bullshit and lying. And I tolerated it because I'm like, okay, this is how these people are, whatever, man, whatever. I'm just here to spend time with him. But then it's like competitive backstabbing, all this bullshit. And it's very draining on the system. I'm going, I can't fake this shit, dude. It's not what I'm about. I don't like this shit. So if someone's nasty, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not hanging around here. I'm going somewhere else. Why would I torture myself with the presence of an asshole? It's fuck that. And a lot of my stuff to do with Christmas as well is torturing myself, tolerating the presence of assholes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm nearly 40. I'm 37. Oh, I'm 38. Am I 37? Fuck knows. When's 85? I lose track of that so much. I was born in 85. All right. So you get past a certain age, it just doesn't fucking matter. It's all accumulating. I get to choose now. I don't have to do, you know, like if you listen to one of the other podcasts, Christmas for me is not a good time. I don't think it's a good time for many people. I think it's a very forced, formal occasion where everybody has to get together and tolerate a lot of other people's bullshit for the sake of A, food, and free shit. So, I may it's too cynical, I don't know. Besides the fact that I think I've only ever done 2 or 3 Christmases in my life. And those were horrible experiences, which were used for manipulation and control by my granddad, Bob. So that's, you know, it was never a really positive thing. So when I became an adult and I started enjoying Christmas in terms of giving myself a second childhood, because I didn't have one, it was more about the candified version of Christmas reality. You know, like the Christmas calendars, the advent calendars where you eat a chocolate a day, but realistically we're going to eat the whole fucking thing in one sitting because fuck it. Or, you know, I don't give myself toys. I do give myself weird shit. Like if there's some kind of weird gimmicky stuff like Dunkin' Donuts does Christmas tree donuts or some shit like that, I'll go out and find that shit. I like the weird shit. But the forced formal occasions just, they bug the shit out of me. I can't, because it lacks authenticity, doesn't it? It's like, I don't actually want to be here. And you're people pleasing. It's like, why are we together when none of us like each other? And realistically, I just want to be on my own. Or maybe with one other person. Because that's all the stress I can handle right now. I've just come off work. And I don't want to put on a fake smile and fucking mistletoe. I want to be unconscious in bed. And when I'm conscious, I want to be eating or fucking. It's like, stop putting me in these situations where I have to be nice to people that I don't know or like, really. But she's, as I said, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but that's what the holidays means to me. It's like everyone's like, we got guests over, the guests want you to do stuff, and you feel obliged. Like when I go traveling and I go on tour, I get people saying, you want to go hang out with your family? I'm like, fuck no. I got loads of family over in the UK, but I want to do what I want to do. So I'm sitting there looking at my sister going, why are you doing this? Just crash at my house and travel, dude. Why do you need to put people into these formal situations? So I think she thinks she's doing the right thing. But then again, she is an extrovert, so it's like, it's in her nature to enjoy social interaction. It is not in my nature to enjoy it. I find it very stressful because I get like severe social anxiety. It's like, am I going to fuck up? I'm going to say something wrong. Like when I fancied this Joe. I still fancy him. He's hot. He was a really nice guy. I was so sad that he fucked me off. Yeah, I had him on Facebook for a split second, right? And then I swear to God, I posted some shit on there that scared him, and he unfriended me. I'm like, no, I liked you. Oh my God. But, you know, it's that kind of stuff. You're sitting there going, I want to make friends, yes, but I want to keep them within a bubble that's not intensely stressful for me because I have to put on this persona, or I have to live up to this persona that they've created for me. And I'm sitting there going, I can't do that, dude. I'm me. I do dumb shit because I have no social skills. I get upset because I have no social skills. I can't understand why people live the lifestyle where they sleep around and everyone's fine with it. That hurts me, to be honest. It physically hurts me, mentally, emotionally. The idea of that. I've never done it myself, and I just cannot. See, the social group I was looking at were doing that kind of thing and being fine with it. I'm going, you're all going to get your feelings hurt. And I don't understand why we're doing this, and I can't relate to you people. So I'm just going to smile, wave, and then leave and not come back. Okay, it's like, I don't want to control you. I don't want to change you. If this is what you want, I know where it leads. I know it's going to hurt, but at the same time, I can't fake what I don't like, right? I can't really do that. And they were, and I came across as an asshole because I didn't want to join in, I think. And maybe I'm still guessing as to why he unfriended me. I'm going, what did I put out there that was unappealing that much that you would unfriend me? And it kind of hurt my feelings. I'm going, I've done something wrong, but no one wants to point out what I've done. Or, you know, I don't know. I still think maybe there was some gossip and shit going on with my ex-boyfriend. He spread some shit about me. Because I don't think I did anything mean. I don't know what I did, to be honest. Half the time I'm just trying to get through these social situations where it's painful to be awake. Because everybody's drinking like 10 o'clock at night. I'm going, A, I don't drink. B, I'm awake at 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to be awake at 10 o'clock. You know? These are harrowing experiences that just tarnish my need to go out and associate with people. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Anyone else got that social anxiety out there? So overthinking shit. It's like I've hurt someone's feelings. I don't know how I've hurt someone's feelings, but I have, and they've unfriended me. And I liked them, and now I'm really sad because I like them, but it's like I've done something wrong. I don't know what. I don't know what. It's bugging the shit out of me. Anyway, so maybe I'll just have to let that one go. It's like, obviously something didn't mesh. Okay. That's okay. It's okay. We'll find our soul tribe, right? Someone out there knows how fucked up I am. Am I fucked up? I don't know. Yeah, these are weird experiences. They just, you know, tarnish any kind of being okay with people in your bubble, really. So, because I don't know if I'm going to fuck up. Because then you've got to live with this person that you've just fucked up with. If they're staying for like 7 weeks like my sister is. Thank God she actually knows me a bit better than everyone else in that social group. Because she's had me for the majority of her life. She's only 2 years younger. But she knows my quirks. So I'm pretty stoked that it's her. I mean, my brother's the same. My brother knows my quirks. I mean, I'm not crazy at level, like Sheldon level. Big Bang Theory Sheldon level. I do get a bit short with people because I'm like, this is not functional, this doesn't make sense. Why are you doing it this way? I have managed to sort of sugarcoat my words these days because I work with kids and you can't just give it to them straight. It hurts their little feelings. But Miss So-and-so, why did you tell me to fuck off? Because you did it wrong. But I'm 8. Yeah, do you know what I was doing at 8? Do you know how I did it at 8? There was no room for fuck-ups. There was no room. Stop crying. What was my parents' favourite saying? Stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. And they did. It was usually painful. So I know those rules really well. Don't fuck up. It's crazy. It's a crazy life trying to be autistic. Well, trying to be autistic. Like you get a choice. Trying to exist as an autistic. I'm just passing my sister. She's racing me on the highway. Because she doesn't know the way back to my brother's house where she's staying for the weekend, so she's passing me. But it's fun because you get like those in-house tag jokes. So now I'm just gonna flicker the bird. Fuck you. No, I won't do that. She's nice. But yeah, it's fun having her down. It'll get thin because I've been traveling with her before, and I think I've got a max of about 2 weeks, like living in each other's pockets before it just really starts getting feisty, because she's got her own quirks, usually to do with being a bit slower and more leisurely than I am. So when it comes to things like if we're traveling together, I'll do the planning. I'm good with the planning. I know what we're doing. She needs to tell me where she wants to go, which takes a bit more time. I feel like we're in the Notebook and I'm sitting there standing with that guy saying, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that easy. I'm like, it fucking is. I give her a list and choose from the list. You've got to give her confines to work in, otherwise she just floats off and does fucking anything. It's like, no, this is where we're going to be. This is the things you can choose from. It's like, it could work really well or it just doesn't work at all. But, you know, I'm trying. It's about 2 weeks max before she starts doing my head in. Because she's so airy-fairy. She's like, she is a free spirit, and bless her, she's wonderful that way. She did an Aunt Pat. We've got an Aunt Pat that just fucked off to Switzerland, eloped with a guy called Renato, and living her best life as far as I know, somewhere else in Switzerland, you know. But she did an Aunt Pat and she fucked off to the UK instead. She's been there for 8 years now. And she lives with one of her friends, and she's having a blast doing her own thing. Going around London, she goes on big house tours and stuff on her own. But she's not got really any kind of structure, and my parents are constantly having to bail her out and stuff. So she's the youngest, and she's a free spirit, and she's wonderful, and she's big blue eyes and blonde hair, and I was like, I'm gonna go do my life, and I'm like, you fucker. Because I'm all about that. I need to build. I'm a builder. I'm a tourist. I build. I work and I build, and I make good things, and I'm doing my very reasonable stuff. And she's like, I'm going to be a free spirit. She's a Virgo. She's a bitch. No, she isn't. She's lovely. But we're stark contrast in what we do with life. Like my goal growing up was, you know, get married. I wanted a house. I wanted married. I want to do all this. Get it going, right? Keep working, get going. Make goals, make plans, get going. She's like, I gotta go find myself. She's got that artistic kind of thing, and I do art myself. I do painting and shit like that, but it's never a case of I'm just going to elope to a different country. I'm just going to live my life somewhere else. I'm like, I'd be sitting there trying to plan. All right, so I need a job, I need a house, I need the game plan, dude. I can't just fuck off and do nothing. I can't not prep. She's brilliant that way. I love her balls. She's good that way. She's a good house guest, but she's a bit airy-fairy for me. I couldn't live with her. It drives me nuts. But she does know all the best places to get coffee and cafes and things like that. She's one of those that can just find these places, and she just knows. And I'm like, okay, so we've got some strengths between us. We're going to have to see how she goes, because she's not leaving till the 20th of January. We're going to see how she goes. But she's also being shared amongst the family members. So she's going to my brother's house this weekend to house sit because they've fucked off camping. And then she's going to go up to my sister my other sister in Bridgetown, which is 5 hours away or so from me. So it's going to be a road trip. And then she's going to probably go back down to my mum's in Harvey. And it's like, yeah. So it's pretty cool. So it's not a stressful thing. But I tell you what, you really do appreciate when you get your space to yourself, don't you? Really. I mean, everybody wants to do this nice thing where we've got all the family around, and it's great because we're all together now. And that works if you've got one of those families that's, you know, cohesive and gets along and shit like that haven't been subject to trauma and shit. We all get together and we enjoy each other's company for about 3 hours. And then it's like, okay, I'm going home now. No, because I want to live my life. This family obligation shit ain't for me. I know we're trying to get it together. It's like, as we get older and we're all adults, there is that importance that we have to get along, because, you know, we've all got, well, I've got 4 nieces. Well, I've got 3 nieces and 1 on the way now. So we got the kids. So we want to give them a future that was not like my parents' reality that they gave us, because they were fucked in the head. So us kids are getting together and we're trying to make a better future for the following generation, which are the nieces. Sooner or later, my younger sister might have kids. I don't know. But we can understand the importance of getting together and trying to make it a thing. Again, my parents don't celebrate Christmas, so they're still fucked off somewhere else. My brother's trying really hard to get it together. My older sister doesn't really do Christmas. But occasionally we do get together and we try and make it work. Just hanging out. I mean, most of the time when us kids get together, it's just, you know, trying to relate to the trauma and discussions about our childhood and how we changed as we grew up and how we don't want those things. So it's really cool discussion. When my parents turn up, it's more like, okay, do you remember when? Or it's like, yes. We don't want to talk about the traumatizing side of things. because it would just, you know, create arguments. So it's kind of really light discussion when my parents turn up as guests. When our siblings get together, it's more, you know, talking about, you know, all kinds of things like family issues and things like that. Like, my sister hasn't stopped bitching about my dad being an asshole since she got off the plane. And I'm like, okay, so this is your person that you need to discuss. I've got a greater scope of things. I can see more people that were affected by this and have affected this. So, you know, it's interesting. I like your different perspective. I want to see what you think, of course. But this is the kind of things you put up with guests. I would love to have come from a family that got along. I look at the movies, because most of my understanding of reality comes from things like movies and stuff. I love movies. I love watching movies. Some of them are getting annoying. Some things I don't watch because I'm like, I'm not watching that. Like, I refuse to watch Magic Mike. I'm like, I don't understand why that movie exists. It doesn't make sense. But okay. And The Notebook pissed me off too. Because I'm like, that is just trauma bonding. That is just. You guys are both narcs. It's like, this is insane. How is this romantic? But, you know, you're trying to understand reality from what you're being fed. And it's probably not good, because it does set you up for putting people on pedestals and horrible experiences where they just don't suit the narrative that's been created in pop culture. But you're trying to look for benchmarks out of the reality you've been given. And if you've had a traumatic background, you're looking for any kind of form of escapism. Even if it means, you know, looking at, you know, Keanu Reeves as like the ideal husband and stuff. And you're going, he's actually quite nice, actually. And you're going, yeah, he's a really nice guy. So I'm assuming there's a lot of traumatized people out there that are looking at these celebrities saying, this is the ideal person for me, because look at all the things they've done in these movies. So of course this is reality. It's not, because it's a scripted reality, and of course it's created to give people that sense of escapism. But you want to hope that the fairy tale is real, because the reality of the situation is your family sucks. You got no money at Christmas because you spent it all on shit that nobody really wants. And, you know, you're stuck with this guest for 7 weeks who you don't really get along with, but you feel like a social pull towards letting in your life, because at some point your parents decided to have yet another kid they couldn't afford. You know? Am I being too cynical? I don't know. Is it Christmas? I don't know. I feel like the Grinch, but I'm like, the more I age, the more I feel like I relate to the Grinch. He just wants to live alone with his dog and eat food. I'm like, yeah. I wouldn't go into the depth where you're that bitter about people, but I can relate to the other stuff. Just want to be alone, man. I don't like this social obligation shit. And we've been, you know, you've had pop culture tell you that you have to get together with your family and stuff. And you have to have guests over at the holiday times. And the reality is, it's like, I'm old and I don't care. No, I don't want you. It's like, go off and live your life, sweetheart. Don't you want to hang around with your parents? Fuck no. I remember what they did to me. I can't keep brushing that shit under the rug and not facing what they did. It hurts still. And there's a lot of unhealed intergenerational wounds that just got sort of brushed under the rug. And then suddenly someone has a psychotic outburst at like Thanksgiving or something like that. Ultimately, there's an argument because that wound hasn't been healed. And you're like, well, what? So-and-so ruined Christmas. It's like, no. The build-up of intergenerational pain and trauma ruined Christmas. This is just one iceberg instance, you know? You got to fix your shit, dude. If you want that social interaction where everything's fine and you get along with your guests and there's no, you know, fist fights over turkey stuffing, you got to fix that shit. Everyone fights over turkey stuffing. Everyone. It was like the main shit. We used to get like roast chickens, like every now and again. Not as a Christmas thing, but everyone fought over the stuff. And the legs. Nobody wanted chicken boobs. No one wanted them. You wanted the skin and legs, and they're like fighting over the stuffing. Or it was just my family, I don't know. I'm hoping you guys have fantastic time with your guests at your house. If you're having Thanksgiving or if you're having Christmas or whatever people do at Christmas, like there's all kinds of stuff. Like Jewish people do something else. I'd like to see what they do. I hear they got like 12 days of what is the equivalent of Christmas. I'm going, I want to see what that is. It's like eating for 12 days. No wonder you're going to gain weight. Or something like that. I could be wrong, obviously. I'm not Jewish. But I want to understand things like that. It's the perks of being a divinist. You see, you look at everything. The pagans, I know from the crew at my old local, are doing their own thing. They consider them pagan, but I'm like, I don't understand what your version of pagan is. Because if you're just having orgies, that's one version. That's not entirely paganism. It's not the paganism I'm familiar with. Mine's more like earth beliefs. So that's my version of paganism, is understanding what happens at winter and the changeover with the seasons and the divine and everything like that. When we have Easter, I celebrate Esther. So I'm looking at the rebirth and the life side of things rather than, ooh, look, chocolate bunnies. It's like, no. Well, I eat the bunnies anyway because I like chocolate, but I'm like, this is all cool, man. It's all good. But realistically, I'm looking at her, the woman, the divine feminine that came out through spring and fertility and things like this. I'm not looking at the Judeo-Christian side of things. So I'm hoping, I don't know, I'll go off on waffle tangents. I'm hoping you guys have a fantastic holidays. If you've got guests over, please try and develop some kind of tolerance. I'm having trouble, but you know, we've all got to be grown-ups here and we all got to get along, right? If you need to address your family issues, just do it, man. Don't hold it back. Don't gloss it over. Don't, you know, delay that shit. If it's going to carry on to the next Christmas, you want to sort it now, right? Sort it out now so you don't have to deal with the shit next Christmas. The more arguments, all the bullshit. Okay, just take it easy. It is Friday, Freya's Day. Yes, goddess of war and fucking and magic. I've got to get into it. I'm so tired right now, but I am very. That's my woman. That's my go-to woman. Given my culture, given my Viking heritage, that's my mum, man. I love that woman. But she's my chosen representative of the divine. If I was from a different country or a different culture, maybe it would be someone else. Maybe, you know, I don't know, Gaia, Ariadne, you know, all kinds of cultures. But that's my representative. So I'm thoroughly impressed. And I got to be born on her day as well, so I'm stoked. So she's my mama. I know I sound crazy, but, you know, have a great day. It's the last, it's a nurturing day before we get the weekend, and the weekend is the healing time, okay? So take it easy, okay? We're all trying to fight through this Friday. Take it easy. Have a good one. Try to find some stolen snacks. I'm going to steal some snacks if I can find some, because they usually have, you know, some kind of morning tea in schools on a Friday. So I'm like, yoink. Take it easy, and I'll see you on, hopefully, Monday. Okay? Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Space, night, death, darkness, not being there, is an essential component of being. You don't have the one without the other, just as your buzzsaw has no teeth.